got some people on. So whatever you want to do or start, just let me know, and we'll go from there. If you have questions, I'm going to try to keep a little live tally here of homework. I'd like to start with homework 4.1 number 1 first, just so we can kind of keep that going there. Got 5 people on. So if you got questions, let it go there. Or if you're just on, say hey, so I know you're on there. Make a comment. Okay, number 5 on the first one. So okay. Mine's a little bit fancier because it's in color. So I'm going to do number 5 first, and then we'll look at number 2. Yeah, those are good questions. So if we look at number 5, it says write a rule for the translation of L, M, N to L prime, M prime, N prime. We're starting here, pre-image, and then that's our image. That's kind of a terminology they use on your homework. And they just want a translation. So you literally just have to pick a point. So Jordan, what number do you want to pick? And we'll translate from there. And Jayla, do you mean number 2 on the first homework or homework number 2? And can you guys see this? Okay. Domsy says she can't see anything. Can you guys see what's going on? It looks like it's streaming okay. Ah, thanks, Kayla. Okay, so Jordan, we're looking here. I'm just you didn't Ethan. So we're just going to look at letter M, and we're just saying what's it take to get from the pre-image to the actual image. So from M, you always do your X values first. So just remember we're doing X and Y. So our X, we go left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we go up 1, 2. So how would I show that in terms of that? Somebody want to put it in the comment section? We're going left with our X and then up 2. Right. So Kayla, she put it right there in the comment section. But the way you want to write it, and a lot of you will be doing this tomorrow in class. You say we take our X and we subtract 5, and then our Y, since we went up 2, would be a plus 2. Okay. And this is really kind of how you write it. You start with your X, Y, and then it's X minus 5, Y plus 2. Good. Jordan got it on there too. Okay, so that's that one. I see number 2. So let's go back to number 2. Okay. It says name the vector and write its component form. And so the vector is CD. So that's how you write that. You just say CD. Okay. Actually, a vector. Let me erase that. CD, a vector has kind of like a little weird notation there. Okay. And then all you got to do is, we're not going to put the x plus or the y plus or the y minus in there. We're just going to use a number, positive or negative. So can somebody tell me x, what did we go, how many units did we go over, and how about down with our y? So how much did we take to get to this point? Going over, and then how much down? Okay, so you're right. It is, Kayla, it is down 3 and over 7, but you always want to do your overs first when we're talking about vectors. So we went over 7, but we went right, so that's a positive 7, and we went down 3, so it's minus 3. So when you write it that way, you're literally just leaving out the x and the y. That's how you do the vector form. Okay. So Domzi, you're close. You just forgot your negative 3. Okay. That's the 2 questions I've had thus far. If anybody else wants to see any or needs help, and if you want me to do 4.2 number 2 or number 1, I can go to that one. Just make sure you guys clarify for me. Okay, number 4. Yeah. So it's kind of like what we just did. So if you can imagine, you're just asking yourself to get from negative 3 to 0, how many spaces do we move? Okay. And do we move to get from here to here? Do we go positive 3 or negative 3? If you're thinking about it on a number line. And Domzi, I'll go over number 1. Anybody? So I'll kind of show you on a number line. If I'm just on a number line and well, there's no room there. Yep, going positive, but on a number line, I'm going from negative 3 to 0, so I'm going 1, 2, 3 spaces in the positive. So it would be positive 3. And then I'm going from 6 down to 1. So that would be going down 5. Yep, Kayla had it. Okay, hopefully you got that. Domzi said she'd like to see number 1. Yeah, number 1, that's just kind of a funky question, but it's pretty basic. The pre-image is the image you start with. The image is the primes. So all you need for that one is the pre-image is triangle ABC, and then the image is triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. That's all I wanted. Alrighty. Any other ones on this one? I will say number 16B, you don't have to worry about that. Ethan, number 7. Yeah, that's a good question. Let's definitely check that one out. So it says use the translation starting with xy and then x subtract 8 y plus 4. What is the pre-image of c prime negative 3 negative 10? So there's lots of ways you can do this. The way I look at it is this is where we ended up. We ended up at negative 3 and we started at a number and we had to subtract 8 to get to that. So this is how I do it. If I take x and I minus 8, that gets me to my new spot of negative 3. And then we just solve for x. So if I add 8 to both sides, then my original x was 5. So think about it. If I have 5 and I subtract 8, that gets me to the spot of negative 3. So why don't you guys that are watching and listening set up the second one? You can type your equation into the comment section. What would you do with the y? How would you set that up? Yep. I've got my original, and whatever that is, if I add 4, it gets me to the new one, which is negative 10. So from there, if I just subtract 4, y is negative 14. So the pre-image is 5 negative 14. If you don't remember that, you could always take your graph paper on a test. I'll give you an extra graph paper. Plot this point and then work backwards. Just say, okay, so from here, if I went minus 8, if I add 8 back, that'll get me there. And if I subtract 4 from there, you just work it backwards. You can do it that way or set up the equations. All right. For those of you watching, if you want, somebody can say yes or give me a thumbs up or something. I'll just put the answers on there for a second and you can check if you want me to do that. If you don't have any questions immediately, and then that way you can just check them and then you can ask as needed. So if somebody would like for me to do that, just let me know and I'll put the answers up there. Okay. You have to disregard number 4. I did not make this answer key, but and we just answered number 4. So there's 1 and 2. I'll go kind of slow. We already did 1 and 2. And then there's number 3. So that vector form 6, 0 means the x we're moving 6 to the right, and the 0 means we're not moving it up or down. Just in case you needed that. Number 5, I don't think we did that one. Actually, I can just check. Yeah, we did number 5. We did not do number 6. But there's the answers for 5 and 6 and 7. As we're going through these, if anybody's just like, hey, hold up, can you help me with that? Just let me know. And I'll stop. Let's just do it that way. So there's 5, 6, and 7. If I'm going too fast, just say slow down in the comments, and I will. Okay, I'm going to go to number 8. Number 9 is kind of funky because it so Kayla, no, you don't do the same on 6 as you do a 7, because on 6 they give you the original and you just subtract. So if you want, I can go back to that. Just let me know. And as I'm waiting on Kayla there, I'll go on down to number 9. Number 9 didn't even fit on the graph. Okay, so I'll put 9 on there for just a second so you guys can check it, and then I'll go back to number 6 for Kayla. Just as you're checking number 9, you had to take the initial image, add 12 to it, and then go up 4, and then come back 5 and down 9. So I did not show the first shift. I just showed the first and second where it should have ended up. So I didn't have that last one in there. So I'm going to go back to number 6 for Kayla. Well, here, I'll go ahead and put number 10 on there, just so you guys can check that one out. It's kind of hard to see the shapes in this one, even on mine. But we went positive 5 and up 1, and then from here we went left 5 and down 5. So they want to know, what did it take to get to this one, and then what did they take to get from this one down to this one, and that's where these answers came in. Okay, this is just a little special side note. Okay, all right, so let's go back to number 6. And there's a blank one. All right, it says user translation X, Y, and then X minus 8. So on this one, they give you the initial image, the pre-image. On this one, they wanted you to find the pre-image, so you had to work backwards. On this one, all we need to do is take 2 and plug it in for X, and take 6 and plug it in for Y. Because we're starting at 2, and then we're doing these directions to get to the next one. So it would just be 2 minus 8, comma, 6 plus 4. 2 minus 8 is negative 6. 6 plus 4 is 10. So that's where it gets me to that. You just plug them in, because we're going from the pre-image to the new image. On this one, we had to work backwards. That's why it was a little funkier. Yeah, no problem. Okay, go to the back. I like these describe and correct the errors. I don't know if it's so what the person did was, to get from here to here, you're supposed to go right 1 and up 2. Right 1 up 2. All of these are right 1 up 2. But they said go left 1 down 2. Whoops. Kind of ran off the camera there. So they did the opposite transformation. And this is what they did. Or this is what the answer should be. Okay. Um, 12 was pretty tough. If you want me to work through 12, I'm not going to show the final answer on that because that would be a good one to work through. Does anybody want to see 12 worked out? Okay, cool. Let's check out 12. I know mine's all fancy. It's in color. There we go. Okay, we're studying amoebas through a microscope. So slide in a straight line from B3 to G6. Describe the transformation. So can somebody do that for me? We're going from here to here. Remember, you do your X and then your Y. So we're starting at XY, and then we're going to, you can just put it in the comments section there. Yep, that's right. Plus 4, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down 3. So you would say, I'm taking my X, I'm going to add 4 to it. I'm taking my Y, and I'm going to move it down or subtract 3 from it. And that'll get me there. Very good, Ethan. It says the side length of each grid square is 2 millimeters. How far does that amoeba travel? So what do I need to use to find this distance right here? Give you a hint. I said the word distance. Okay. Yeah, distance formula. So here's the thing. I do like the distance formula, but we will be getting into right triangles and trigonometry, and you will have to know the Pythagorean theorem. So we need to kind of start moving away from the distance formula and doing the Pythagorean theorem. So let's just do that together to get the distance. So to do that, you just make a right triangle. So what I'm going to do, and you can do it along with me, is we're going to go down and over, and that makes us a right triangle. Oh, hey Sam. I saw that I got a notification that a blue strawberry had subscribed to my channel, and I was like, who is that? So, hello. Thanks for joining us. So can somebody type in your comment section what we would type in for what we would use for the Pythagorean theorem? Remember, it's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. and c squared is always across. It's always across from the hypotenuse. And we will do a lot with this. In trigonometry. You'll feel super smart once we get through trigonometry. We do some really heavy math in there. Or maybe you're kind of scared, but it's not bad. We'll make it work. All right. So here's what we got. This side length is 1, 2, 3. So I know I'm going to do 3 squared. I know that this is 4 across, so 1, 2, 3, 4. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Okay. This is actually called a Pythagorean Triple for major math nerds like myself, and we had to memorize those in college. When you have a 3 squared and a 4 squared, it always gives you the same answer, and we'll figure out what that answer always is. So 3 squared is 9, plus 4 squared is 16 equals C squared. 9 plus 16, 25 equals C squared. But if you remember, you have to square root that. And in our distance formula at the very end, we square root. So it's the exact same thing. But if I square root 25, that's 5. So the length of this is 5. And a Pythagorean triple is just if you have a right triangle that's 3 and 4, then the hypotenuse is always 5. That's a good little trick to have. But that's not our answer because it says the side length of each grid square is 2 millimeters. So can somebody now in the comment section tell me how many millimeters is that amoeba traveling? Yep, 10 millimeters. All we're doing is the distance of 5 times each one of them's 2 millimeters. And that's 10 millimeters. So an amoeba. Yep, good job, everybody. So then the next one says it moves at 24.5 seconds. What is the speed in millimeters per second? So when I see that, millimeters per second, I know my units are millimeters per means divide, second. So all we're going to do is fill in our millimeters and our seconds. We know that it's traveling 10 millimeters, and it's doing that in 24.5 seconds. So all we got to do is divide that out, and that'll give us the meters or millimeters per second. Those of you who will take chemistry next year, they will give you something like this, but then they'll say how far does it go in like meters per minute, and you got to do a lot of converting. And if you get to that next year and you get stuck, I'm really good at that. I can do that. I can help you with that. So if I divide that out, you should get 0.41 millimeters per second. That's how fast or slow that little amoeba's moving. Okay. 13, you may not know how to do that, but that is kind of a preview of our next unit. So again, I've said this lots of times. Our homework does a lot of stuff we've done before, stuff we're doing now, and then it previews stuff that we're going to do in the future. So let's talk about that one. When we do translations, the shapes are congruent. They stay the same. So the blue shape on my paper and the red shape, they are congruent. They're the exact same shape. So when you do that, you can match things up and set them equal to each other. So can somebody in the comment section type in there something that is equal to something? Something in the red that is equal to something in the blue. You don't have to use the degree sign, by the way. 10 equals 2t. Yep. So when we look at this, this is on the bottom of the shape, and that's on the bottom of the shape. So we're going to say 2t equals 10. So t equals 5. So we got our t. Ethan says 162 equals 3w. So yep, that's right. The top of the shape equal to the top of the shape. If we divide everything by 3, that will give us, I've already done these, I'm cheating, 54. I'm not that good with math in my head. I had 2 people say R is 100. Yep, that's good. Those match. And then S would equal, that's a tough one. No, it's getting a little blurry here. S would equal 8. Okay. Whoops. There you go. That is something that we are going to do that next unit. I mean, it's obviously not going to be that easy. It'll start off that way, but it'll get pick up. Okay, let's move on. Number 14. If you guys want to, just in the comment section, does it have a line of symmetry? Tell whether it can be folded in half so that one side matches the other. So let's do this. Say yes if you think it is, no if you don't, and then if it is yes, how many lines of symmetry? Because I want to show you something on this. I get yes, yes, yes. How many lines of symmetry if you say yes? Because this is how you kind of show it or do it. Hey, Malik. Okay, I got a 1, I got a 2. So check this out. If I fold it right here, that one will work. So there's one line. Okay. But I can also fold it this way. If you think about it, and it would work that way too. So there should be 2. Okay. 15. That's a very big math problem. This is read as, the best way to read that is the opposite of negative x. The opposite of negative x, x. Alrighty. And then 16, I'm going to put the answers up here for you. And then if you want to see one of them worked out, let me know. I'm not, again, we're not going to stress or worry about letter B. Okay. So if you didn't get A, or if you can get letter A or number 17, let me know. If not, we'll move on to the next homework section. I don't think actually I looked at it earlier. Most of it won't take that long. Those of you who've been hanging out with me for a while. Anybody need to see 16A or 17? If you don't need it, just say no. That way I know to move on. Silence. Domsy on 17 real quick. So when they say parallel, they want a slope that's the same. So when I look at this one, my slope, remember it's y equals mx plus b. So whatever's next to the x is my m. So my m is equal to 3. And then all I do is you do the point slope formula. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And then you just plug in your slope. And you plug in this point to this formula. And it'll give you that answer. Okay. Sorry if that's blurry. I don't know what's going on. Maybe if I get like 20 subscribers, YouTube will pay me and I'll get an upgraded camera. What do you think? I doubt it. All right, let's move on. Keep on keeping on. Let's go to the second homework. Okay. Number 1, we didn't talk about. I've never even talked about it myself. Let's see if I can get this focused. There we go. That'll help. We've never talked about it in class, but a glide is a translation and a reflection. So I'm putting these answers up here for you. And again, if you guys just need help or you want me to explain one, let me know. But there's one. Number 2 just says determine whether coordinate plane shows a reflection in the x, y, or neither. And you can clearly see that it's been flipped this way. So it's over the y-axis. Again, I don't know who made this answer key, but it's a little sloppy at times. But there's number 3. If you need like a close-up of it. I think we're doing pretty good with reflections. I do kind of worry about if it's a side, like a diagonal line. Like if you guys reflected over the x or reflected over the y, I'm okay with that. But it's the ones where we reflect like this. Could be tough. So if you get to that in the next couple of days, let me know. And if you're still listening right now, we're going to do an activity tomorrow, and then we'll have a little mini quiz on Thursday. Probably review on Friday, and then test next Monday and Tuesday. So that's kind of where we stand. Okay, number 4. I'm going to put number 4 and 5 on there. I kind of like how, if you can see, if I can get it on there for you, number 4 or number 5, those lines aren't saying that the problem's wrong. That's saying where you can draw a line of symmetry. So like on mom, if you cut it through the M, you can fold it, what would that be, hot dog style? No, hamburger, hot dog, something like that. I don't remember. It's too late. That would be hot dog. And then C, you could fold it hamburger style, if you guys did that back in the day. We good through number 5? Give me yay or nay. Okay. Got a yes. Number 8 is going to be a lengthy one, I have a feeling. So there's 6 and 7. Oh, I got no's. What do you guys need to see? Oh no, I didn't get no's. Never mind. Those were old comments. So 6 is just a review from the previous section. 7, you can fold it once. We've been on here for a while. I'm going to show you the answer to number 8, but basically the easiest way to do it is just work it backwards. So let me show you that. I don't know why there's like the little things down here at the bottom. I assume that's like a keypad that you would type in. Or, oh no, that's some, I just now figured it out. No, I didn't figure it out. I was going to say maybe use each one of those once, but you don't. So the way I would work this one is you had to guess the translation and then you had to reflect it over y equals x. And they draw the line. Did they draw the line in there for you? Let me see. No, they don't draw the line in there. I would draw the line in there, and then I would work it backwards. So from here, I would reflect it. If I go down one, I'm going over one. If I go down this many, I go over this many. I would do it from here, reflect it, and then work backwards, and then that would get you to that point. So that's going to have to be a you work it backwards problem. So once I reflect it, it's going to make the shape's going to kind of be over here. I'm not doing it exactly. And then what you would do is just say, to get from here to here, how much am I going over and up? And it's over 3. So the shape actually should end up like kind of like this. If I erase that out. So then you would say, oh, okay. If I go over 3 and up 3, that'll get me to each one of those points. That makes sense. Okay. Alrighty. Let's go to the back. Whoa, that one is crazy. Some of these are crazy. Let's do this. 9, I just want you to see that one. Or if you want to copy it down. That is a crazy problem. I don't think you'll see anything like that on the test. If you do, I'll make sure we go over that in class. I just don't want to, those are, I think, would be a challenging problem. I just don't want to spend a lot of time on something like that. Number 10, that's a review, so I can show you that one. So it says point B prime is the image of B after reflection in line C. Write an equation for line C. Okay. So what they do is you plug these in to the slope formula. Okay, which gives you, man, this is a tough one too. And it gives you -1. But in order to figure it out, it's actually so here's what we're doing. When you find the slope of this line right here, okay, when you find this slope, it gives you -1, okay? When I find the perpendicular, slope, that tells me what I flipped it over. So that's why they did a perpendicular slope here. That way I know this is what I flip it over. But then I need to find the middle point of this because I have to reflect it over. So think of it this way. Let's just say over here I've got a point that's 2, and I'm going to reflect this point right here over the x-axis. Okay, I'm doing reflection over it. The way we learned it is you count 1, 2 here, so then I go 1, 2 here. So the reflection line is equidistant. It's equal from here and here. It's 2 away here, 2 away here. So what we're doing on this one is, this is my point, this is my point. The slope of that line is -1. So the slope of my reflection line is the perpendicular of that, which should be 1. This is a big problem. And then I need the midpoint of this line, because then let's say this is 1.5 away, then this has to be 1.5 away. The midpoint would make this equidistant, just like this was equidistant here. These are equidistant. So then you have to plug these in and do the midpoint formula. That's where this comes from. I'll kind of do the midpoint formula for you real quick. It's 1 plus 3 divided by 2, and 4 plus 2 divided by 2, which gives you 2, 3. Then you take this slope and this point and plug it in to that equation, and that gives you the reflection line. Yowzer. That's a big one. Man, we're pushing 49 minutes here. Let me see if I can find some that are just some quickies that we can get through that I think would be beneficial to you. Let's see here. 12's pretty in-depth. Here, let's do this. We're just going to look at 14 through 18 so you guys can check those. Again, what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll look at our quizzes and tests. If there's anything that's like 9 on the 9 and 11 and 12 and 13, I'll go over those in depth in class, but I don't think so. So 14, this has no lines of symmetry. Okay, there's nowhere I can draw a line through it. 15, when you simplify that, the important thing to remember, a lot of you guys will make a mistake on, what you're distributing is a -1. So -1 times 12 is -12. -1 times -5x is plus 5x. And then you've got 1x plus 5x. And that's where I get the 6x minus 12. All right. 16, that's a review. And 17, that's a review. So I'll put those on there. Okay, that's last unit. Last unit. If anybody wants help on these last two, thanks for sticking with me. You guys have been rocking it. If you want help with 16, I don't even know where 17 went. Disappeared off the earth. 16 or 18, let me know. Excuse me. If not, then I will tell you a dad joke to end the session. I got lots of them. They're bad. I'm good at dad jokes, though. Anybody need help with 16 or 18? If not, say dad joke. I'll give you 2 for sticking around this long. Ah, dad joke, dad joke. So, you know, maybe these will catch on with you guys, and it'll get me it'll get me up to like 20 subscribers. So, first one's a knock knock joke. Knock knock. I'm gonna wait in the comment sections. Knock knock. Oh, come on. I need a who's there. Ah, there we go. Broken pencil. Never mind, it's pointless. That's a good one. Should get some laugh emojis on that one. Okay, last dad joke for the night, guys. Did you guys hear the joke about the pizza? Never mind, it's too cheesy. Oh, I got one more. One more. Here we go. Here we go. That's the cheesy one. Oh, did you guys hear the joke about paper? Never mind, it's terrible. Get it? Terrible. Oh man, those are good ones. All right, my peeps. Anything else on here? 16 or 18? If not, heading out for the night. All right. Wait, before we go out for the night, give me the best dad joke there. Thanks, Ethan. I like that. Just real quick, do you guys like the broken pencil, the pizza, or the paper? Pizza. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh my gosh. It's spread out. Okay, guys. Have a good evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. I got I think a good lesson plan for you that maybe you'll like. So have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.